Hi, I am Alamin. Welcome you all in this new kind of videos that I'm going to post. So it's all going to be about wealth creation and wealth accumulation. So to give you an idea about wealth creation and wealth accumulation, I think you guys are already familiar with the concept, but I am going to make it something that useful of your time so that you are not wasting your time here. So the ideas that I have gathered is from an individual that I really admire, who is Naval Ravikant. He's the CEO of AngelList, and I think he is one of the few has changed or shaped my way of thinking about how I perceive about wealth. So wealth is something that we all admire and all we want. We don't want actually uh, anything that is going to take away our freedom of purchasing, and wealth is something that we all cherish because it has the power of producing something. It's something that works for us. So we as an individual have limited amount of resources in life, and wealth is something that can be generated by using that limited resources in a resourceful manner. So having that ingenuity in place so that it works for you, even you are not working. So that is important concept. Renting your time, we all are like very adapted to this situations or scenario, is that we all spend our lifetime to think about how to create a more marketable scenario for my skill set. So how to get into a Fortune 500 company, how to make yourself that much skillful so that you can ask for big raise or big salary. That is what we are really playing here in this game. But the idea of wealth is that it's kind of like takes you to a whole new level, which actually makes it more easier for you to use your time and resources effectively. So when we are talking about wealth creation, let's talk about something important related to that, which is leverage. So as much as leverage you can have, it's going to be useful for your wealth creation. So leverage is something that helps us to gain a thing that we want but we don't know how to get. So there are kind of like four leverages available to us. So historically, the four leverages are: one is labor, two is capital, three and four is code and media. So the oldest form of leverage is labor, or think of it in this way. If you talk to a group or society, in the society, if you say that I am working at some places, and a general or common question would be like, okay, that's interesting, how much people or how many people are working for you? So by that estimate, they try to um, think, or they try to estimate your position in the social hierarchy. So lever is kind of like the ultimate oldest leverage, because those who have the most followings, those who have the most amount of people working for them, have a truly good amount of advantage over a lot of other individuals. Like the influence they possess is such a is something that invaluable in many cases. So that is one of the oldest form of leverage. The second leverage, which is kind of new but already old enough, is capital. Capital or money or wealth, which is actually, if say for example, if you are an individual, and you are going to start a new business, you need some capital to start with. So how much money you have determines one significant degree of freedom for you to start any new endeavor. So as much as capital you possess, you have a greater advantage to the others who are just like you but don't have that capital. So historically, we have seen the labor and capital has played a significant amount of role determining our um, possibility of creating new wealth for ourselves, whereas the third and fourth are kind of new. So third and fourth are code and media. They are permissionless. So nobody has. I didn't ask to nobody. I didn't have to ask. Sorry, I didn't have to ask anybody in order to record this video. So it's kind of like permissionless, right? I'm talking to you. So it's something, a leverage that I have because I am living in this age. Whereas if I was living in three previous centuries ago, then it would be completely a different scenario. I would have to book a seminar room. I had to advertise on the newspaper or somewhere else to let people know that I am talking. Maybe it's worth listening to or not. So now it's kind of like something instantaneous that I can do it for myself. So this is kind of like a new advantage or leverage that we can all try to use for ourselves without even asking for permission. So this code and media is kind of like the ultimate leverage that we have as an individual of 21st century. So the newest form of leverages are kind of like egalitarian. It's kind of like brings everyone in the one platform. So if you have the skills, then you can use this platform to make it your own make it your own luck, right? So the next specific topic that I'm going to talk about is accountability and specific knowledge. So if you are working on something, that means I can hold you accountable or responsible for that specific thing's outcome. Whereas if you are not taking your accountability, then it's really hard for us to pinpoint who actually going to be responsible for that specific task. So if you have accountability and leverage mixed together alongside specific knowledge is something that we all try to learn knowledge or gather knowledge. That's not the point. Specific knowledge is something that makes you unique. It's the only thing that you can do really well compared to the other persons, which kind of makes you a unique keeps you in a unique position. So specific knowledge, for example, if you are really interested in coding, you can really code well. That is kind of like an very advantageous position that you are in, because you can work on almost anything, start something, anything, and very easily you can see what would be the output to look like as a prototype. And if you are successful, you can actually make a lot of money based on that. So this kind of leverage and specific knowledge and accountability. So the accountability part is really important, because if you are participating in one role and you are accountable enough to see it through, then people are actually going to respect you for what you actually have done, and they are going to give you what you actually are asking for. So at the end of the day, I'm going to just point out that one thing is that if you are a really individual, really worthy individual, I would just talk about Warren Buffett. And like, if you are talking to Buffett and if you are asking him to do a job, he will not work for you, that's for sure. But it's just a thought experiment, is that it doesn't matter that when he wakes up in the morning, it doesn't matter when he goes to bed, it doesn't matter when he's going to participate in that task. You know that he is credible enough for your job to get to a point that it will have a significant chance of getting output rather than another individual. So To summarize all the concepts that I have just walked you through, this is going to be a continuous series of wealth creation, but the fundamental idea is that renting your time is not going to be a very useful feature. um, Rather than, maybe try focusing on wealth creation, so that with the help of accountability, specific knowledge, and leverage. So try to mix those up and see it through, see what happens. um, and let's talk to you guys maybe sometime soon. Allah Hafiz.